Hey there people, it's Fresh Mark Sense with another fresh review. Today I'll be checking out aromatic autumn winter fragrances. Now these are fragrances with interesting notes that are a little bit unusual that you may have not seen before. They have niche characteristics because of their complexity and how well they're blended. Also they will be suited for autumn and winter, but they have an aromatic component to them that makes them feel a little bit natural and could be a signature scent because of their uniqueness. So these are the fragrances. Let's get straight into it with Prada L'Homme Intense. Now, I may have spoken to you about this in Fresh Mark Sense if you listened before, but this is a iris, tonka bean, leather, and slightly creamy bergamot scent. This has a very sweet yet dark amber. The sweetness of the amber is juxtaposed with the darkness of the leather. It is made creamy with the tonka bean, lifted with the iris. So there is a light and dark going on, but this is just in the shade really. This is slightly a dark perfume, but the contrast of it is very sophisticated. The black leather is supple yet masculine at the same time, and I feel that the iris, when it projects out, gives a sense of the original L'Homme, but its ciliage and projection is through the roof. It just projects throughout a whole bus. When I was wearing too much, actually the first time I got excited, I sprayed about 8 times. I was overspraying again, and then the whole bus was feeling it really, so that was a bit too much. So go light on the sprays. 8 is probably more than enough, but that can actually spread throughout whichever room you're in. 8 sprays is too much actually, but so go light with the sprays and keep it sophisticated with Prada L'Homme Intense. Next one is Dior Eau Sauvage Parfum. This is a 2017 version. You could tell because it's got the silver tag and the black in the background with the sort of yellowish juice. This has a Hédione, vetiver, and slight touch of myrrh in it. Slight touch of myrrh, but it's more vetiver than myrrh with the bergamot on top. So this is a very touch of sweetness from the bergamot. The vetiver keeps it sour and fresh with the contrast of resinous myrrh. The myrrh uplifts the perfume and catches onto the sweetness of bergamot. Just the after creamy sweetness of bergamot is uplifted by the myrrh, the original scent of the myrrh, the original uplifting sweetness of the myrrh. And some people don't like the darkness of this fragrance because the myrrh mixes something dark and resinous with something natural like vetiver, and it's quite unusual for some, but I find it quite interesting how the elmi in the top note, that's it, bergamot and elmi in the top note, vetiver in the middle, and you have some myrrh in the base as well. Fantastically sweet. The sour creaminess of bergamot mixed with vetiver is playing out with the calming myrrh. Some people would say that this is a bit almost herbaceous, but it doesn't go into spicy herbal territory, and that's why I'm going to go with the next fragrance. So if you like myrrh fragrances, and if you like something natural, quite airy, green, but not too overbearing at the same time, check out Dior Eau Sauvage, the 2017 version. I heard from some places that it is getting discontinued. I rushed out and I got a 200ml bottle. This is not even the 200ml bottle. I got 2 bottles. And I found out that I don't actually think it's discontinued, But let me know what you think in the comment section. I really love this perfume, and I don't actually regret having 2 bottles because it is a great perfume. Fantastic for formal wear, airy in summer, very smart, very slick, yet refreshingly natural at the same time. Dior Eau Sauvage Parfum. That's why I love it. It's like a doctor on a picnic, something very smart and intelligent almost, because it has that natural zingy freshness, like a great idea, but at the same time it's very poised and collected. At the same time, it's got that Dior collected, preened up and done up vibe to it. So Dior Eau Sauvage 2017 is a stunner for if you want to go out and be done up whilst going to a casual event, smart casual, let's say. The next one is Armani Eau de Nuit. This is a cardamom aromatic scent with a touch of black tea to keep it interesting and sweet. There's a little bit of violet in here, but this is another one of those almost date night fragrances because it has that sweet midnight sky vibe. The same like Opium Pour Homme, and there are other fragrances like I think Pure Excess has a touch of that sort of midnight sky vibe. But I would also say Valentino Intense, that's another one that has a sort of dark effect of a cloudiness almost. So this is an aromatic cardamom, sweet, spicy. The cardamom really shines in here because it's green, it's warm in its spiciness. The difference in this fragrance is that it's a light, gentlemanly fragrance that can be applied. I think it's best in nighttime, but for me, the light, spicy nature of it means that it won't be overbearing for somebody who's not used to spices, but it would be cooling. It has a cooling, spicy effect, which is, I find that it's been done in fragrances like Armani Code, which is that cool anise and olive leaf note, which is almost waxy and dark. But this retains a sparkle through the bergamot in the top note. It has a cool spiciness that is started off from this green cardamom, and it's tapered off by the cool black tea note. I think the black tea note in here is what gives it its cool finish. Slight touch of amber and musk in the base as well, but I can't smell it too much. The next one is a fragrance that is slightly stronger, but nonetheless is great for autumn and winter. Eau de Nuit has notes of cardamom, iris, cedar in the base, and some amber. The initial spray begins with some pink pepper and bergamot. It's quite lively, it's quite sparkling. The bergamot is creamy and fresh, not so zesty like a lime, but just the creamy freshness of the bergamot. When I spray it, I'm going to spray it with this hand. That zingy freshness appears, pink pepper and bergamot. Then comes a unusual note after the sweet green nature of cardamom, mixing with tiny creaminess of iris and tonka bean in the base. The amber rises up to keep that sparkling midnight sky note there that I said was similar to Opium Pour Homme. And then you get the very clean cedar in the base. And I think that the black tea note gives the midnight sky feel, that effervescent powdery feel. It's aromatic in a naturally sweet note, and one of the notes that is quite unusual, but you may have heard of from Dupe Pour Homme, is heliotrope. it gives it that sweetness. But I think that Dupe Pour Homme is a little bit too sweet for my liking, and I think that this is more naturally balanced in its sweetness. So the amber in the base keeps the running theme of something slightly sparkling, slightly cloudy, effervescent, and sweet. This remains sweet yet natural. The cardamom, it has a cooling effect, yet it's lightly spiced. This is a fantastic date night fragrance. Don't sleep on it if you find it on a cheap price. I had this for about, I think it cost me about £45. But you can find it for about 55, run about that sort of price. But if you can find it that cheap, definitely go for this if you want something subtly soft, sophisticated, and not too strong even for nighttime. So check out Armani Eau de Nuit. The next fragrance is something that is, we've gone through the creamy, fresh, and done up Dior. We've gone through the black leather and creamy soft iris. Another iris scent was the Eau de Nuit. And we're going to go into a more green direction with Gentleman Givenchy Intense. This is the new Eau de Toilette. I think it was made in 2021 or 2020. I can't remember. I believe 2021. And this has a very herbaceous aromatic note of basil. Now, with a main note like basil, you may be thinking, does this come off as culinary? Now, I'd say it's very well balanced, because actually this is another iris scent. I just realized, yes, all the Gentleman Givenchy, they have a signature iris scent, but this is mixed with the herbaceous note of basil to give it a green, fresh, spicy touch. It's mixed with cardamom to keep that green spiciness flowing, and throughout the perfume is mixed effortlessly with the vanilla. It has some similarity to Prada Luna Rossa Black, which mixes the creaminess of tonka bean with ambroxan, vanilla and amber, with the angelica and other green notes. So that's green, vanilla and sweet and creamy. This is more of an aromatic blend, but it does feature that creamy sweetness of vanilla in the base. Beautiful vanilla. All the Givenchy Gentlemen have a great vanilla note in them. Nonetheless, with Boise as well, Gentleman Givenchy Boise, and this latest edition 2021 also has a great vanilla in the base. Very warming, very soft, very mixes very well with the powdery notes of iris, and this herbaceous note of basil is a welcome, revitalizing, yet formally classy scent. It's a great touch. So check this one out. Gentleman Givenchy Intense, the Eau de Toilette, marked with this crazy symbol at the back, which looks like a Versace, but it's not. Anyway, check that one out. Next one is something that I really enjoy for its uniqueness. Actually, the whole video of this began when I first looked at the John Varvatos by John Varvatos bottle in my collection. Because of its unusual sweetness of dates, it has a note of frankincense in it, a little bit of fir balsam, which is a piney, fresh, woody note, which I usually stay away from because of its, because it's pine fresh and I don't want it to smell like a car air freshener. And a lot of perfumes overdo that, in my opinion, or they're a bit too much for me. But this piney fresh note mixed with olibanum, the fruity dried fruit note of dates. There is a slight sour sweetness going on with the tamarind fruit in here. There is a nice amber. There's a touch of, let me just remember, caramel, oud, and frankincense. So these are the interesting notes that are in here, and they're blended fantastically to form something uniquely spicy, fresh, touch fruity, and of course leathery. It's a very enjoyable scent for its unique, animalic, fruity, musky tone. It's very masculine, very intriguing with its sweet and spicy notes. Slightly old school with the age-old pine woods from the 80s that were used a lot in 80s fragrances. And I think this is a fantastically well-balanced fragrance. The longevity is about 6 hours, let's say, including time on the skin. So it's about 4 hours projection. Not too much. Sits quite close to the skin. But I think because it's a sophisticated, modern gentleman fragrance, because it has intriguing yet classy masculine notes to it, it's a modern gentleman's fragrance. It doesn't have to project too much to garner attention, because the unique blend of it will attract attention itself when people are up close to you. So definitely check out John Varvatos, by John Varvatos. It's got me in a loop, this one. For a masculine and subtle scent with unique characteristics. So these are the 5 scents that I was talking about. You got your clean black leather iris. You got your masculine, fresh yet subtle done up Dior aromatic fragrance. You got basil in a completely new direction with the original Givenchy vanilla to make a very subtle, gentlemanly and natural fragrance. And finally, the intriguing, quirky, new age masculine man who isn't afraid to wear something that would turn heads, but also wears fragrances for his own pleasure and doesn't need to scream out bodacious notes to show his own character. More just drawing people in rather than exerting himself on the crowd. So, John Varvatos. So let me know what you think about all of these fragrances. I'd like to know what you think in the comment section. Would you add anything else to the autumn selection that you find particularly intriguing with unusual notes? I'm very interested in perfumes with unusual notes, and John Varvatos was one of those perfumes that I picked specifically for that reason. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Take care and stay fresh.